What if I told you that your bank account is an exact reflection of your inner thermostat? That every financial struggle you've ever faced wasn't really about the economy, your education, or even your circumstances, but about something much deeper, your money blueprint. Today, we're diving into one of the most transformative books ever written about wealth creation, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, by Harv Eker. This isn't just another get-rich-quick scheme. This is about rewiring your brain for financial success. Eker went from zero to millionaire by age 30, lost it all, then rebuilt his fortune by discovering something remarkable. Rich people literally think differently than poor and middle-class people. And here's the best chapter. These thought patterns can be learned. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll uncover the exact mental blueprints that separate the wealthy from everyone else. You'll discover why your current financial situation is no accident, and more importantly, how to reprogram your mind for lasting wealth. Get ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about money. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Money Blueprint. Your financial life today is a direct result of your money blueprint, a subconscious program that determines your financial destiny. Think of it as your internal thermostat for money. Just like a thermostat automatically adjusts temperature, your money blueprint automatically adjusts your financial results. Here's how it works. Every person has a preset comfort zone when it comes to money. If you make less than your comfort zone, you'll unconsciously work harder or take risks to bring your income back up. But here's the kicker. If you make more than your comfort zone, you'll unconsciously sabotage yourself to bring your income back down. This explains why lottery winners often end up broke, why people who get raises somehow end up spending exactly that extra amount, and why some individuals can lose everything and rebuild their fortune, while others struggle their entire lives. Your money blueprint was formed primarily during your childhood through 3 main sources of programming. First, verbal programming, everything you heard about money growing up. Phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees, we can't afford that," or "Rich people are greedy," became embedded in your subconscious mind. Second, modeling. You unconsciously adopted the money habits and attitudes of your parents or primary caregivers. If they argued about money, avoided financial discussions, or lived paycheck to paycheck, these patterns became your normal. Third, specific incidents. Traumatic or highly emotional events around money created lasting impressions. Maybe your family lost their home, or money caused your parents to divorce. These incidents formed deep-seated beliefs about money's role in your life. The beautiful truth is this: you can change your money blueprint. Awareness is the first step. Once you understand that your current financial results aren't permanent fixtures, but simply products of your programming, you can begin the process of upgrading your mental software for wealth. Chapter 2. Rich versus poor thinking patterns. The difference between rich and poor isn't just about money. It's about thinking patterns. Eker identified 17 specific ways that wealthy people think differently, and mastering these distinctions is the key to financial transformation. Wealth file number 1. Rich people believe I create my life, while poor people believe life happens to me. Rich people take full responsibility for their financial results. They don't blame the economy, their boss, or their circumstances. Poor people see themselves as victims always finding external reasons for their financial struggles. When you take responsibility, you gain power to change your situation. Wealth file number 2. Rich people play the money game to win, while poor people play not to lose. There's a massive difference between these strategies. Rich people focus on wealth creation, taking calculated risks and seeking opportunities. Poor people focus on security and safety, which paradoxically makes them less secure because they're not growing. Wealth file number 3. Rich people are committed to being rich, while poor people want to be rich. Wanting and committing are worlds. Chapter. Rich people do whatever it takes legally and morally to achieve wealth. Poor people want to be rich, but aren't willing to do what's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or unfamiliar. Wealth file number 4. Rich people think big, while poor people think small. Your income can grow only to the extent that you do personally. Rich people train themselves to handle large amounts of money, solve bigger problems, and serve more people. They understand that the size of the problem determines the size of your income. Wealth file number 5. Rich people focus on opportunities, while poor people focus on obstacles. Rich people see potential in every situation. Poor people see problems. When rich people encounter obstacles, they ask, "How can I make this work?" Poor people ask, "Why won't this work?" Your mind will find whatever you're looking for. Wealth file number 6. Rich people admire other rich and successful people, while poor people resent rich and successful people. If you view rich people negatively, your subconscious mind will ensure you never become one of them. Rich people study wealthy individuals, learn from them, and model their strategies. They understand that rich people are often rich because they provide value to many people. Wealth file number 7. Rich people associate with positive, successful people, while poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. Your network determines your net worth. Rich people carefully choose their associations, surrounding themselves with people who inspire and challenge them to grow. Poor people often hang around other poor people, reinforcing limiting beliefs and negative attitudes about money. Wealth file number 8. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value, while poor people think negatively about selling and promotion. Rich people understand that if you have something of value and you don't promote it, you're doing a disservice to people who could benefit from it. Poor people have been programmed to believe that selling or self-promotion is somehow wrong or sleazy. Wealth file number 9. Rich people are bigger than their problems, while poor people are smaller than their problems. The secret to success is not to avoid problems, but to grow yourself so that you're bigger than any problem you encounter. Rich people don't run from problems. They learn the skills necessary to solve them. These thinking patterns aren't just interesting concepts. They're practical tools for transformation. Each time you catch yourself thinking like a poor person, you can consciously choose to think like a rich person instead. Chapter 3. Wealth Principles in Action. Understanding wealth principles intellectually is just the beginning. Rich people don't just know different things. They do different things. Let's explore the action-oriented wealth files that separate the wealthy from everyone else. Wealth file number 10. Rich people are excellent receivers, while poor people are poor receivers. Most people have trouble receiving money, compliments, or help because they don't feel worthy. Rich people understand that their ability to receive is directly connected to their net worth. They work on expanding their comfort zone for receiving in all areas of life. Wealth file number 11. Rich people choose to get paid based on results, while poor people choose to get paid based on time. Rich people prefer profit or equity compensation. They want to be paid based on the value they create, not the hours they put in. Poor people trade time for money, which limits their earning potential because there are only so many hours in a day. Wealth file number 12. Rich people think both, while poor people think either or. Rich people operate from an abundance mentality. They believe they can have both money and happiness, both success and family time, both wealth and spirituality. Poor people think they have to choose, operating from a scarcity mindset that limits their possibilities. Wealth file number 13. Rich people focus on their net worth, while poor people focus on their working income. Your true measure of wealth is your net worth, what you own minus what you owe. Rich people track this number religiously and focus on increasing it. Poor people focus only on their paycheck, often spending every dollar they earn and sometimes more. Wealth file number 14. Rich people manage their money well, while poor people mismanage their money. Rich people respect money and manage it carefully. They track their expenses, create budgets, and make informed financial decisions. Poor people either avoid dealing with money entirely or manage it carelessly. Then wonder why they're always broke. Eker introduces a powerful money management system. Divide your income into 6 jars. Put 10% into a financial freedom account that you never touch. This money is for investments that generate passive income. Put 10% into a long-term savings for spending account for larger purchases. Allocate 10% to an education account for personal development. Set aside 50% for necessities, 10% for play, and 10% for give. Wealth file number 15. Rich people have their money work hard for them, while poor people work hard for their money. Rich people understand passive income and compound interest. They create systems and investments that generate money without their direct involvement. Poor people only know how to trade their time and effort for money, which creates a ceiling on their income. Wealth file number 16. Rich people act in spite of fear, while poor people let fear stop them. Rich people feel fear just like everyone else, but they don't let it paralyze them. They understand that fear and excitement are the same physiological sensation. It's just how you interpret it. Poor people let fear make their decisions for them. Wealth file number 17. Rich people constantly learn and grow, while poor people think they already know. Rich people are committed to continuous learning and growth. They invest in education, attend seminars, read books, and hire coaches. Poor people think learning ended when they left school, or they're too proud to admit they don't know something. The key insight here is that wealth isn't just about having money. It's about developing the skills, mindset, and habits that create and sustain wealth over time. Chapter 4. Reprogramming Your Money Blueprint. Knowing the difference between rich and poor thinking is powerful, but transformation requires actively reprogramming your money blueprint. This isn't a passive process. It requires intentional, consistent action. The first step is awareness. You must identify your current money blueprint by examining your results. Your bank account, your debt level, your spending habits. These are all reflections of your internal programming. If you're not happy with your financial results, your blueprint needs an upgrade. The second step is understanding where your current programming came from. Think back to your childhood. What did your family teach you about money? What did you hear repeatedly? What did you observe? What incidents shaped your beliefs? This isn't about blaming your parents. They did the best they could with their own programming. This is about taking responsibility for your current blueprint. The third step is disassociation. You are not your thoughts, and you're certainly not your past programming. You can choose to keep beliefs that serve you and discard those that don't. Every limiting belief about money was learned, which means it can be unlearned. The fourth step is declaration. Create empowering declarations about money and wealth. Instead of, "I can't afford it," say, "How can I afford it?" Instead of, "Money doesn't matter," declare, "Money allows me to help more people and live my purpose." These declarations reprogram your subconscious mind. The fifth step is action. Your new blueprint must be reinforced through consistent action. If you want to think like a rich person, start doing what rich people do. Track your net worth monthly. Read books about finance and investing. Associate with successful people. Take calculated risks. Invest in your education. One of Eker's most powerful techniques is the revision process. When you catch yourself thinking a poor person's thought, immediately stop and revise it to a rich person's thought. This constant correction gradually rewires your neural pathways. Another critical element is expanding your comfort zone. Rich people are comfortable with larger amounts of money. Start handling bigger numbers. If you usually think in terms of hundreds, start thinking in thousands. If you think in thousands, start thinking in millions. Carry larger bills in your wallet. Your mind needs to get comfortable with wealth. Physical anchoring is also powerful. Every time you declare a new wealth principle, touch your heart and feel the truth of it in your body. This creates a kinesthetic anchor that makes the new programming more permanent. Remember, changing your money blueprint isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Be patient with yourself, but stay committed to the work. Every rich person had to upgrade their money blueprint, and you can too. Chapter 5. Building Wealth Systematically. The final piece of the wealth puzzle is building systematic wealth-building habits. Rich people don't rely on luck or wishful thinking. They follow proven systems and principles that consistently generate wealth over time. The foundation of any wealth-building system is financial management. Using Eker's jar system, you automatically direct your money toward wealth creation rather than just consumption. The financial freedom account becomes your wealth-building engine. Every dollar you put into this account stays there and gets invested to create passive income. The long-term savings for a spending account prevents you from raiding your investment money for purchases. When you want something expensive, you save for it separately rather than compromising your wealth-building efforts. This account teaches delayed gratification while protecting your long-term financial goals. The education account is perhaps the most important because it ensures continuous growth. Rich people never stop learning, and this account funds books, courses, seminars, and coaching that expand your earning capacity. The return on investment in yourself is often the highest return you'll ever get. The play account forces you to enjoy money in a balanced way. Many people are either too frugal or too spendthrift. This account ensures you experience the pleasure of money while staying within a controlled budget. When you deprive yourself completely, you eventually rebel and overspend. The give account connects you to the abundance of the universe. Rich people understand that money is energy, and energy must flow to grow. By giving consistently, you reinforce the belief that there's always enough money coming to you that you can share some with others. Building wealth also requires understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. Rich people focus on acquiring assets, investments, businesses, real estate that generates income. Poor people think their house, car, and possessions are assets when they're actually liabilities that consume money. The wealthy also understand leverage, using other people's time, money, and resources to multiply your results. This might mean starting a business where others help you generate income, or using borrowed money to purchase appreciating assets, or creating systems that work without your constant attention. Diversification is another key principle. Rich people don't put all their money in one investment or rely on one income source. They spread risk across multiple vehicles while focusing their learning on areas where they can achieve above-average returns. Perhaps most importantly, wealthy people play the long game. They make decisions based on long-term consequences rather than immediate gratification. They understand compound interest, how small amounts invested consistently over time become enormous sums. They plant trees today that their future selves will sit under. The systematic approach removes emotion from wealth building. Instead of making impulsive financial decisions, you follow predetermined rules that guide your money toward its highest and best use. Your journey to financial transformation starts with a single recognition. Your current financial situation is not permanent. It's simply a reflection of your current money blueprint, and blueprints can be changed. Harv Eker's insights reveal that becoming wealthy isn't about getting lucky, being born into the right family, or having the perfect business idea. It's about developing the mental and emotional patterns that naturally create wealth over time. The 17 wealth files aren't just interesting concepts. They're practical tools for daily transformation. Every time you choose to think like a rich person instead of a poor person, you're literally rewiring your brain for success. Every time you act despite fear, focus on opportunities instead of obstacles, or invest in your education, you're building new neural pathways that support wealth creation. Remember, this isn't about becoming obsessed with money. True wealth gives you the freedom to live your purpose, help others, and make the impact you're meant to make in this world. Money is simply a tool, but like any tool, you need to learn how to use it effectively. Your assignment is simple but powerful. Choose one wealth file that resonates with you most strongly and focus on it for the next 30 days. Notice when you slip into old thinking patterns and consciously choose the rich person's response instead. Watch how this single change begins to shift your entire relationship with money. The Millionaire Mind isn't reserved for a special few. It's available to anyone willing to do the inner work necessary to claim it. Your transformation begins the moment you decide your current financial situation is no longer acceptable, and you commit to developing the mindset that creates lasting wealth. The secrets are no longer secret. The only question now is, what will you do with them? Your millionaire mind is waiting. It's time to claim it.